Meditate and Mingle is not just a convenient play on my name. It's my personal oxymoron, my yin-yang, and my Libra scales. It's the balancing act that exists within me. Meditate describes the side of me that is intuitive, spiritually grounded, and individualized. While the Mingle is my social butterfly. I'm people-oriented and I have a talkative side. Bringing them together allows me to reach out to you. So join the mental mingle and meditate on a few thoughts with yours truly, Dr. Melissa Tate. Thank you for tuning in to the only station giving you double the information and inspiration. WDRB Media and WGIV, the soul of Charlotte. This is Meditate and Mingle, and I'm your host, Dr. Melissa Tate, aka Ms. Meditate and Mingle. I am so excited about today's guest that I have on the line with me. So you all may remember back in November when I first began my radio show that I had a conversation with Keith O'Neill, former NFL linebacker who retired from the NFL on the heels of discovering a diagnosis of bipolar disorder. He and I met at a NAMI convention, NAMI standing for National Alliance for Mental Illness, and he was the spokesperson that day, and voila, the rest is history. Well, I repost my old interviews from time to time, and someone named Darrin Gray under All Pro Dad liked the video, and the rest is history. He and I kept talking, kind of tweeting back and forth. I took a look at All Pro Dad, and so I am super excited to have on the show with me today Darrin Gray, Director of Partnership for All Pro Dad. Welcome to the show, Darrin.
Well, it's my pleasure to be here, and I and Tony Dungy sure appreciate Keith O'Neill and who he is and what he stands for and the life change that he's created for himself in light of his bipolar condition. So it's wonderful to see him thriving now, and we're so proud of him.
Yes. As was I. I was so honored to speak with him, and definitely honored to speak with you today. Tell us about All Pro Dad. What is this? What is this? Where did this come from?
Well, thank you for asking. All Pro Dad is the national fatherhood program founded by retired NFL head coach and Super Bowl champion Tony Dungy. It's been around for 18 years now, and it's just an opportunity for us to provide resources and opportunities for men to become more active in the life of young people. And notice that I didn't just say for fathers, because truth be told, there's not enough good dads to go around. So some guys have to mentor and father and coach and lead other young people. And so we want to give men the tools that they need to step up and step out and really focus in on helping that next generation. But the idea of All Pro Dad, that sort of aspirational phraseology, really gives men an opportunity to say, hey, I want to be more like that. And I don't do it perfectly. Tony Dungy doesn't do it perfectly, but we're all united by the common purpose of getting better as a father, as a man, as a mentor, a husband, and all the roles that we play in our busy, busy lives.
Wow. So that was very loaded with so many, so it sparked so many questions for me. First of all, over the course of the 18 years, how has the program evolved? You mentioned just, some people not having a father figure or father in their lives, and that sometimes other men are in a position to step up and be a mentor in that way. So I'm wondering, over the course of the 18 years, how the program has evolved, given the context of fatherhood in our communities.
Well, let me break down those two questions this way.
Okay.
Here's how we evolved. Tony Dungy knew that he wanted to do something to help challenge men to be better fathers when he was the head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 18 years ago.
Okay.
And so he got together with a guy by the name of Clyde Christensen, who incidentally is still coaching in the NFL.
Okay.
He's an assistant coach in Indianapolis, where Tony later went on to have some measure of success with the Indianapolis Colts, which we can talk about at some point if you want to.
Yes, sure.
But they began developing some simple programming with the help of a colleague of mine by the name of Mark Merrill, who's the president of the organization Family First.
Okay.
And that's the organization under which All Pro Dad operates.
I see.
So in the beginning, All Pro Dad was a series of communications. A daily email is the thing that many folks know us by, called the Play of the Day, where we help to enrich men across America with this great daily advice through the Play of the Day. But how it evolved, it really morphed in such a way that we began running big NFL community events. We call them All Pro Dad Father and Kids Experience events. I just did one of these with our great team down with the Jacksonville Jaguars a few weeks ago with Mark Brunell, a great quarterback from of the Jaguars, who was the headline spokesperson that day. And we came together to enrich 1,500 dads and kids on NFL turf and led them through a series of highly choreographed, deeply intentional training exercises that taught them a little bit about football, but it taught them a whole lot about how they could be better fathers.
Wow.
And then that sort of morphed into us having All Pro Dad's Day chapters. And we've got 1,200 of these chapters that meet in schools, churches, and community centers all over America. You can find a list at allprodad.com. There's some in the Charlotte area, but they're all over the country now. And these chapters allow men to come together with their children inside public schools, typically over breakfast, and use our curriculum that we provide each month to the team captains that volunteer to lead these chapters. And they get the opportunity to be leaders in their community, but also in their child's school. And when dads go to school, good things happen. So those are the three primary programs: the daily enrichment, the big NFL experiences, and then the in-school chapters. And that's how we've evolved over the last several years.
Wow.
And you can reframe the question if you want to, and I can talk about mentoring and how that works in a fatherless environment if you want to talk about that, or you can ask me other questions that you might have on your mind at this point.
Before we go into the fatherless environment and what and how that mentorship works, I do want to talk about what you said, the deeply intentional exercises that are a little bit of football, but a whole lot more. Tell me about, can you give me an example of what one of those exercises would look like?
You got it. We call one of these very simple activities the pride exercise, where we literally have all these people at the same time stand up, grab their children by the shoulders, look them in the eyes, and we're, of course, coaching them through this at this time, and we have them tell them why they're proud of their child.
Okay.
And do you know what? Kids glow when dads speak truth in pride, love. And that moment, then, we say, hey, you're now given this All-Pro Dad Pride moment. Children, you have a chance to now ask for that anytime that you need it.
Yes.
So then we give permission to the child to be able to claim that from their father or their father figure, because realize we're going to talk about fatherlessness here in a minute, and how that impacts America. But any man can speak truth into a life of a young person, and that's what we're trying to foster. And so I've got many more examples of that, but that's a really simple and practical example of what dads can do through All Pro Dad.
Oh, that is so cool. I'm excited. Tell me more about the idea of fatherlessness, and you said that any man in America can speak, or any man anywhere can speak life into a child. So talk to me about that concept and how All Pro Dad.
Your listeners, I'm sure, are well aware. They see the epidemic of fatherlessness around us. They see the mean streets playing out in St. Louis. They see it happening in Baltimore. But I tell you, all over the country as I travel, I'm seeing this more and more, where young people may not have a man speaking truth in their life, and they're being raised by moms and grandmoms. And I love moms and grandmoms, and they're doing an awesome job, and we can't do it without them. But I tell you what, all the research suggests, I'll cite the 40 Developmental Assets study done by the Annie Casey Foundation, but that body of work suggests that out of all the factors that young people need that one of the ones through every phase of life, 0 to 2, 3 to 4, these children need men specifically to step up and speak into their lives through ongoing role modeling, because that's how we learn. And I know, Dr. Tate, you'll agree with me here that kids don't just listen to what we say, they're also listening to what we do and how we do it. So that's the kind of really practical advice that we provide to dads so that they can do that. And I'll give a practical example, and I'm sure you'll have some fun follow-up questions for me. But I have a young man in my life. His name is Prince, and Prince doesn't have a dad. But I serve as that father figure. I was with him last night, in fact, on a football field, and we've got a scrimmage tonight, and I'm that guy that makes sure to ask him about his grades and find out where he's at with his coaching activities and what's going on in the classroom, and helping him to raise funds for his cleats and all the things that need to be done, because he doesn't have a dad to help him the way that I had a dad. So it's my joy and honor to give back and serve that way. And my role at All Pro Dad is to help to inspire other men to be willing to father the fatherless. So it's a great honor, but it's hard work, and the work is never done.
Yes, absolutely. How do you find that people, or how someone, let's just say someone, a mother, a single mother wants her son to be involved in something like this? So how does someone come in contact with you all?
Do you know what? That at our big NFL All Pro Dad, Father, and Kids experiences, which we've done with 18 of the 32 NFL teams now, and I love doing that. Those are super fun experiences, and we've been doing those for 9 years now. We oftentimes have moms that say, can I come to that event? Can I get involved? Can I be there with my son? Because my son loves football, and he doesn't have a dad. And the answer is absolutely. Come out. We'll help you get inside the mind of your child, which may both boys and girls that love football, as an example, although we've got a baseball version of this, and I can talk about how football is just one lens to look through. There's lots of lenses to help kids get better at who they are as people in the world in terms of sports and other activities and band, etc. But moms can be involved. They're welcome to come to our meetings and our programs. But what they've got to do, in my opinion, Dr. Tate, is find ways to be intentional about helping their child select a mentor. It's no longer just a responsibility of the good dads in America and the good men in America to reach down. And, of course, they need to reach down and do that. But moms need to help their child, especially their sons that don't have a father, to be intentional about going and seeking out a man and saying, I claim you. And so I do a lot of teaching around that, and about how we flip that script, which is I'm going to wait till a man comes and claims me, and then he'll mentor me up. That's great, and sometimes that works, and I definitely challenge men to do that too. But I want to flip that script when I talk to young people, and I say it's your responsibility to claim a mentor, and let me teach you how to do that, and mama can help their son or their child to do that. Don't you agree?
Absolutely, I agree. You've brought up, so many things that I definitely want to touch base on, but we have to take a break. And so in the meantime, what I'm asking the listeners to do is to go to allprodad.com. I went to this website. I love the articles that are there on marriage, on family. There's testimonials from the different NFL spokesmen, and some of the spokesmen being, of course, Tony Dungy, who was a part of founding this program, but other NFL players and coaches that are presently playing or have played in the past. I'm thinking about, if I recall correctly, one of the Harbaugh coaches is on there, and some current players and former coaches, Mike Singletary, Benjamin Watson. You might be able to name a couple as well, Darrin. But it's an awesome website, very well-written articles and blogs and different that are written, like I saw some blogs written specifically by Tony Dungy, and the words of wisdom that come from him are just, amazing. Just amazing. So I'm encouraging everyone to go to allprodad.com. And while we're taking a break, you're listening to Meditate and Mingle, and I'm your host, Dr. Melissa Tate, on the line with Darrin Gray, Director of Partnerships for All Pro Dad. You are tuned in to WDRB Media and WGIV, the soul of Charlotte. Back in a moment.